Hey everybody, Pow! Welcome back to another Life Skills with Jack. I'm sitting on the rooftop of the project that I'm currently building, and this is my everyday view. You know, exciting stuff to me. Let me get in the shade here and sit down. Check if we're still recording. Alright. Hello everybody. I was, I talk about a lot of stuff, and one of the things that I never thought of, that never crossed my mind was how to how to live in this society, interacting with people. And shout outs to Alex Blue, living in Germany. She hit me up and she was asking some questions about how to interact with people, and my first thought was I'm not the guy you want to ask for that. But we got to talking, and I actually think I do pretty good interacting with people, even with my quirks, my oddities, and my strange personality. It's apparent to everyone around me that I'm different, and I get told that all the time. I think differently, I talk differently, I react differently. Some people think it's a good thing, some people think it's a bad thing. I've known since I was a kid that I was different, and I knew way back early on that I didn't interact with people the way that other people interacted, and I always felt like that alien, that stranger on the block, the new kid that didn't have any friends. Always felt like that every day. But since I was a kid, I learned that I could manipulate people. And if like, for instance, I was maybe 4th grade, and the cool kids had a club, where the cool kids went, and of course I wasn't invited because I'm not that cool. But I said to myself, you know what, screw those guys, I'm going to make my own club, and I'm going to make it so awesome that everybody, all the cool kids, are want to come be in my club. And that's what I did, and we were called the Jets, and everybody had to pick a code name, and it had to be a jet, because that was one of my earliest fascinations. I could tell you every kind of airplane, and I could not only tell you the name of it, but I could tell you the nomenclature of it, who built it, engines, stuff like that. I could even tell you famous stories about famous pilots in that particular plane, in that particular jet. And so it was a lot of fun, and I learned early on that just by going out of my way, instead of having a pity party and sulking and saying, woe is me, why doesn't anybody like me, I could go out of my way, make something work to my benefit, to make me feel included. And because being an Aspie, I suppose the majority of us are pretty empathetic. We feel, we know what it's like to hurt, to be ostracized, to be made fun of, and so what I wanted to do was include everybody, and not ostracize anybody. I wanted all the misfits of life to come be with me, and we were the cool kids, and we celebrated in our differences. That sounds weird as a 4th grader, but I learned early on that, like the sun giving life to flowers and plants, that if I shine for others, those others, the flowers, will always look at me for sunlight, for life, for happiness. And so, you know, I've had my ups and downs in life. I've had my struggles. I haven't always held tight to this philosophy. Sometimes I've been pretty rough, and I haven't been the sunlight that I think we are divinely blessed with to be. Aspies especially. So anyway, I was talking with Alex Blue, the Alex Blue, and she was asking me, you know, certain things, and so I wrote down some of the questions, maybe not necessarily hers, but on the topic of things we were discussing. So let me just get into it and quit rambling on. How do you cope with a new environment? Well, you know, I'm an Aspie and I like order. I like things this way, that way, and that way. And I've struggled with this always. I can tell you that I love being on time. I hate being late. I show up everywhere unbelievably early because I just can't stand being late. I think it reflects poorly on me as a person, my character. I am devoted and committed to everything that I do, and I think it's important to portray that in everything that we do. So having said that, I work in construction. I build buildings wherever they need me to build them. I've built in every state across the United States except for 3 of them: Alaska, Hawaii, and Maine. And although I've been to Hawaii and I desperately try to get back there, I haven't built there. But my environment always changes, and has recently changed. I'm now on this project, and I didn't start this project, and it's got all types of problems, let me tell you. But now I'm here to fix it. And so I come in, I'm the new boss on the block, and that comes with a certain amount of difficulty because people don't want to respect my authority. I'm just the next dumb superintendent trying to yell and scream and tell people what to do. And I think along the course of my life that I've learned how to talk to people, and I've got some general rules that I was planning on going over at the end, but maybe I'll go over them now, and we'll set this as the premise of this video on how to interact with people. There's a plane flying overhead. I know I don't have a mic. I hope you can hear me. Maybe we'll just wait for him to go on by. Let me take a Mountain Dew break. So, some of my general rules. I treat everybody with respect. I don't care if you're a plumber, an electrician. I don't care if you're rich or poor. I don't care what kind of shoes you have. I don't care the color of your skin. These things don't bother me. Character is what's within. It's not with what you have, your possessions. It's not who you are. It's your character. So, as Aspies, I think we've got an infinite amount of more character than neurotypicals, and I think that makes us awesome. We're like the X-Men of the world. And so anyway, sidetracking, I believe in treating everyone with respect. So as a general rule, no matter who you are, no matter where I meet you, I'm going to treat you with respect, and I expect to be treated with respect in return. Now, that doesn't always happen, but another one of my general rules that I've learned along the way is that no matter how anybody treats you, you've got to always respond with kindness and respect in return. Adding hate to hate, adding disrespect to disrespect, adding anger to anger never mixes. It will never end well. Not for Aspies, not for veterans, not for anybody around this world. And that's a simple lesson in life that a large portion of the world's population doesn't understand. Always respond with kindness and respect, with the love that you have in your heart. I think that these things we're divinely gifted with. Anybody around the world, we have these things, and the more that we sulk, and the more that we pity party, and the more that we say woe is me, and the more that we refuse to put our best foot forward. I think that drowns out the divinity that we have as people. Always respond with kindness. Always treat others with respect. The golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, right? We learned that in elementary school. As Aspies, we tend to be smarter, and we say things directly, and we say things honestly. And those are great qualities, and I would never discourage anyone from being honest, being direct. Cut out the drama, and let's just communicate properly. And that's the key. We all have to learn how to communicate properly and effectively with each other. So the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If we're going to correct people, my general rule is to always build someone else up. Never criticize. And if you're going to criticize, don't just vomit your thoughts and your feelings out. Word it in such a kind way that that they know you're coming at them from a place of love, of mutual respect and understanding, to build another person up and to see them succeed. There's nothing more exciting to me, and maybe I'm weird, but I love seeing people succeed. I love seeing people happy. I love seeing people do their best and find that reward, the rewards that I have found in my life so personally fulfilling. To go out there, set a goal, achieve a goal, do it, accomplish it, and feel that sense of pride, that hard work that inevitably comes when you want to accomplish a goal. I spoke about this earlier. If you're going to give your light to the world, if you're going to be nice, you're going to be kind, you're going to treat people with respect, then people will always remember you for that. Despite our oddities, despite our unique qualities that make us aliens in this world, people will always remember you as a kind-hearted person that always treated other people with respect. So people tend to flock to that. No matter what your problems are, no matter what you struggle with, if you treat other people with kindness and respect, they will always be your friend. And they will learn really quick, because we tend to be so abrupt and honest and straightforward, that we don't mess around. We don't fill our lives with drama and BS, and we say what the problem is and we fix it. I think that's pretty much a universal Aspie characteristic. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of us. So those are some of my general rules. I've got more, but those are the ones that I jotted down. So when I go into new environments, and I work in construction, so it's not church. I brought home one of those magazines once where they post the mug shots of who got arrested that week in my town. And I was looking through it at work, and I brought it home, and my wife was looking at it. She says, "Oh, they're all so scary." And I said, "That's pretty much everybody on my job site." I've known people that have done life sentences for murder, and they've worked with me on job sites, and there are some great, wonderful people. Not everybody, but I've known some real characters. And as long as I always have treated them with respect, with love, with friendship, with kindness, I have never had a bad experience. I've built in some shaky neighborhoods across the country, and I'm just me. I'm not cool, but I'm kind, and I treat people with kindness. So I've never really had any real problems, any fights, struggles, arguments, things like that. So when I go into a new environment, I set myself up for success. You have to mentally prepare yourself. You're coming out of the ordinary. You know you're coming out of your set parameters, the way you like things, and you have to accept the adventure of the change in your life. And so I do that I do it through music. That's my number one. I bolster myself up through music. I put on some hard-hitting heavy metal. I put on some good dance music. I love music, and it pumps me up. It fuels my emotions, my passions, and I envision positive things, that this is going to be a beautiful day, and everyone I interact with, I'm going to have a good interaction. And so I use music and a couple other things, and I've talked about a couple of those other things in other videos, but music for me is the biggest thing. You've got to find what pumps you up. You've got to teach yourself the skills on how to think positively, how to bolster yourself up. Don't sit in a pity party. Don't sulk. Don't stress about the bad that might happen. You have to focus on the positive, and you have to make it happen. It's easier to make those things happen with a positive attitude and by following general rules of being kindness and treating others with respect. How do I make friends? I have been blessed in my life to have some really, truly fantastic friends. They've been with me through thick and thin, and wonderful, wonderful people. You know, they're my family. And one of those is my wife. Aspies are always struggling and with relationships and friendships and dating, and one of the best, most fulfilling relationships, friendships that I have is with my wife. And you know, along the course of a long road of shaky dating and a lot of fun dating, there's nothing normal about me. I've never settled for dinner and a movie. I like to go out and like to have a good time, and when I met my wife, it was no different. I always put my best foot forward, and that's really what marriage boils down to. When you get married, you're happily in love and all that stuff, and everybody says, yeah, but that fades, that fades. No. I learned in the Marine Corps, I think I say this every video, people are either lazy or they're stupid, and it's a bad combination if you're both. Don't be lazy, don't be stupid. Put your best foot forward. Always be committed to your life, your principles, your happiness. If we put our effort into our relationships as much as we put our effort into Game of Thrones or whatever, we would be infinitely more happy. If we gave to our lives, our personal progression, if we gave our best in every moment and every day, then we can't go wrong. You will always improve. You will always be better. You'll always be a happier person for it. So, in relationships, you always have to be honest. You always have to seek to build the other person up. You can't ever criticize. Don't ever criticize, especially when you're married. If you have people around you that are critical to you, get rid of them. You know, I've got no time for that kind of negativity in my life. I want to be happy. I want to be positive. I want to have a good time. I want to smile. I want to laugh. I want to be friends. And if you're not going to be that with me, you're done. So how do I make friends? Well, I was telling Alex Blue that you have to control the conversation, which is easy for Aspies to do because we're pretty locked on. We're pretty smart. You have to get yourself a core set of questions. Write them down, think them out. But the best way to get people to like you is to talk about them. Get them to talk about them. Don't drone on about your likes, your hobbies, your passions, because we all have those. Get them to talk about what they like. Their family, their brothers and sisters, their wife, their kids. People love talking about themselves. So as Aspies, to make new friends, keep your mouth shut. Get them to talk about them. Get you a core set of questions. How many brothers and sisters do you have? Are you married? How old are your kids? What are they like? Tell me some of their stories. you know, these things get people excited to talk about themselves. It gets the focus off of you, and everyone that you talk to will walk away thinking, man, that was a great conversation. I really enjoyed that interaction with that person. And they're always going to think that about you. Remember, never criticize, always compliment, always seek to build up. Respect and love, always. And people will always walk away from you. They might think, hey, he was a little weird. You know, he did funny things with his hands or tapping his feet or, you know, whatever your quirk. But they will always walk away thinking you were a stellar person and they liked their interaction with you. That genuineness, and it has to be genuine, it can't be fake. You know, you'll fake it till you make it, but you fake it so much, you'll learn how to adjust your course, what questions work, what questions don't. And all Aspies are very analytical, so I know you get what I'm talking about. You'll go through and you'll say, this question made them angry, this question made them offended. Scratch them off your list, put new questions in. Over time, you'll develop the skills, you'll develop the know-how, and you'll find some wonderful and great people that will bless your life with their light, and you will be better off for it. How do I fit in? I don't fit in. I have never fit in. I've always known that. To this day, I still don't fit in. But I've become good at passing or faking, I call it. Faking my way through it. Depending on the group, depending on the environment. You know, last night, see my band, I haven't taken it off yet. I went and saw Conor McGregor, a Mayweather fight, and I loved it. You know, they sang the national anthem, and I was one of 5 people that stood up, and I even, in my Marine Corps voice, barked out, "Get on your feet!" And, you know, sometimes I mix well with others, sometimes I don't, but I appreciate those environments where I can relax, I can be happy, I can be me, I can enjoy the things that I like, and sort of quasi make new relationships. Generally, when I'm out in social events, I don't talk too much. I kind of stick to myself. People walk by me, and I literally, I'm like, don't touch me. But in social environments, new social environments, I pretty much stick to myself. A wallflower type of guy. But if people begin to interact with me, I've gotten, I don't know about proficient, I don't know if that's the right word, but I've gotten pretty good at faking it, passing. I can be obnoxious, I can be loud, I can be entertaining, I can have fun, I can tell jokes, and I think what I've learned is that because I don't fit in and I can't tell normal jokes, what I've learned is that for me, and this might not be for everyone, but I've learned that the more outrageous that I can be, the funnier it is, the funner time I'll have. And it's exhausting, yes, but you know, then I follow up with you know, how I recuperate for myself. But I can fake it, and I can go out and I can have a good time, and I can be the life of the party. It's very uncomfortable for me, but I choose to stick to myself. I choose to be in a back corner. So fitting in, I don't know what to say about that other than that, you know, fake it till you make it. Learn how to interact with people, ask them appropriate questions that excite them, get them involved in talking about themselves, and you know, just kind of sit back and enjoy the ride. Correcting people, never correct people. You know, I'm an outstanding speller, always have been, and you know, I'd like to use proper English. I don't like to talk with, you know, slang talk or whatever. But sometimes you just got to put that foot forward and go with the flow. Hang out with those that you're hanging out with. What's the phrase? When in Rome, do as the Romans do. So when you're out and about, learn the different personalities that you're with, and as you develop in your skills of figuring out what type of people are these and what type of people are those, these facial expressions, You know, if they're drinking, if they're smoking, if they're being quiet, if they're talking a lot, you know, you can, all of us Aspies know, just do a little psychology 101 and you can figure out a lot of these telltale signs on what these people are thinking, their basic personality, and go with it and bring them out of their shell. Be that light for them, remember, and help them have a good time, and that will always translate to you having a good time. But again, don't ever seek to correct anybody. You know, be friendly, be fun, be what's the word? Complimenting. Always compliment, and be genuine about it. People can always see a fake. And with that, I talked about passing or faking, and so I've already talked about that, so I'm at the end of my list. You know, life is beautiful. I talk to people all the time, and you know, the majority of people are just lonely, scared, hurt, jaded in life. And a lot of people aren't willing to give their best foot forward. But I have found that if you always put your best foot forward, you will attract that same out of people. Be committed to yourself, your own personal learning, your own personal growth. Never, never, never call yourself stupid or a buffoon, or, you know, never be critical about yourself, because what you think, you feel, and how you feel is how you act towards the rest of the world. So always give yourself positive comments. Tell yourself you're beautiful. Tell yourself that you're a wonderful person. Tell yourself that you're outgoing and you're a social butterfly. Tell yourself these compliments like you would like to hear them from other people, and eventually you'll believe them. And then eventually you'll feel it, and then eventually you'll act it out. Stay positive always. Keep that as a focal point, a central focal point in your life. Always be positive. Always seek to bring out the sunshine in the rain. Be that light for other people so that they can bring out the best in themselves. I think, in my experience, the skills that I've learned along the way in my life is to always be the best you. Never make excuses. Life is hard. It's harder if you're stupid. Go out there, put forth the effort, learn the skills, put forth the practice to better yourself, to make yourself happy. Don't worry about what other people think about your oddities and quirks and weirdness. Life is too short. Go be happy. Go have fun. Be happy with yourself. Be happy with who you are. Learn how to fake it so that you can get along. And along the way, you'll find friends. You'll find romance. You'll find happiness. I'm proof of that. I've had a ton of failed relationships, but now I'm blessed with my wonderful wife. We have 6 kids. And it's the greatest blessing of my life. I love you all. Have a good day. Hit me up, Facebook, Snapchat. I'm probably still on Tumblr, but I never check it anymore. Instagram. Definitely on YouTube. Share my videos, like and subscribe. And always hit me up. Ask me your questions. You inspire me, and I appreciate all the feedback that I get. I appreciate talking to each and every one of you. You know, y'all teach me so much more than I could ever give you. So, I love you all. Have a good day. Stay positive. Later.